Hail and well met, friends of Ultima and Wurm. This is the 7th part in my video series about the Wurm Unlimited server I am building called Ultima Nostalgia. The idea is to recreate the entire world of Ultima Online and let people come to explore and experience the world from a first-person perspective. Up till now, I've been building the various towns bit by bit, but in this episode we're going to build something completely different, a place they call the Hidden Valley. Just west of Trinsic is a mountain which looks perfectly normal from the outside, but the inside contains a secret. In its core hides a lush area of grassy land, a few trees, and a secret mage's shop. I remember how I found it back in my early days of UO. I was mining along the mountainside and gathering some ore when I suddenly noticed that there was something inside the mountain, a hollowed out area with people walking around. How on earth did they get in there? I remember spending hours struggling to figure it out, climbing the mountain and looking for secret levers until I accidentally walked through the rock and into a dark tunnel. Gathering my courage, I ventured forth and soon found myself inside the Hidden Valley. Oh, the thrill of finally getting in there. Ever since, it's been one of my favorite places in UO. Back in those days, there were no visible tunnel entrances. Instead, you had to feel your way along the rocky cliffs until you stumbled into that tunnel. But these days, the openings are visible to anyone passing by, which is a bit disappointing since it completely removes the mystery and the joy of figuring it out all for yourself. And so, wanting to bring back a bit of that mystery, I decided that when I build this thing in Wurm, it will reintroduce the idea of secret tunnels that cannot be spotted from the outside. In this video, I will not be revealing how to get inside though. Instead, you'll have to come and discover it for yourself, once I open the server to the public. Let's start off by looking at how the mountains were generated from the grayscale height map I made to create the geometry of the land. It looks quite nice aesthetically, but it won't really work if we want to fully mimic the inner yard of the original. So this mountain is going to need a lot of terraforming to get it to match the floor plan of the Ultima version. As usual, I've marked the land and taken a screenshot of it from high up above, then matched it to my gridded map to make sure everything is sized and located correctly. I then had to decide which tiles are the high points, which are the inner slope, and which are the outer slopes. Next, I raised and lowered the land with Bidoo's set height mod and began terraforming down the edges to restore the sloped natural mountain shapes. Looks pretty nice, huh? Who would have believed I would manage to convert that horrific cube-like monstrosity back into a real mountain again? To add a final touch, I painted the peaks of the mountains with some snow tiles. UO mountains don't have snowy peaks, of course, but I wanted to make the mountain look a little bit prettier since the overall result is a bit underwhelming. When I was working on the mountain tiles, something I noticed was that there was an annoying bug in the Paint Terrain tool. Upon setting rock as the active tile type, it refuses to do so, so you can't paint freely with the rock tiles, only cliff. There is no issue with any of the other tiles though. I did manage to find a bug report about this on the forums, so I also chimed in. I hope they will fix this eventually. At this point, the house inside has already been built and the trees have been planted, but before we look at the end result, let's just work on the environment outside of the mountain a bit. Using enchanted grass and oak trees seemed to be the closest match for recreating the deep green jungle look from UO. Now that we're all finished, it's time to take the tour. Since I don't want to reveal the entrance to the secret tunnel to get inside, we're going to go in another way using the high skills I've set with the god tools, and we'll literally climb the mountain. Something I've talked about in my Introduction to Wurm Online video is how Wurm is seamless. No invisible blockers, no instanced areas, no seas that make you die if you swim or sail too far. In Wurm, every inch of the land is explorable. While sailing, once you reach the edge of the server, you simply sail right through to another server. If you have high enough climbing skills and stamina, you can climb right up. Now in this case, the mountain is very small, so it's relatively easy to climb it, but Wurm has some pretty gigantic mountains that would be impossible to climb with skill alone, as you'd run out of stamina and fall to your death. But some people build fences that they can lean up against to regain stamina, then climb up some more, build another fence, and so on. So it is possible, but just takes a bit more effort. Alrighty, here we are, finally inside the hidden valley. Up till now, I've been quite pleased with the other parts of Britannia that we've been recreating, but in all honesty, I was expecting more from the end result of this particular place. I think I was hoping it would turn out to be much more mysterious and cozy than it did. Don't get me wrong, it will still be a very cool discovery for anyone who happens to stumble onto it. But yeah, I guess you can't win 'em all. The next video will be a major win though. Next we are going to Trinsic, which is nearby. I've actually already built it and taken video footage. I just need to edit the material. Now that turned out amazingly well, so be sure to keep tuned and I'll see you there.